What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going through my predictions for game week 9 in the Premier League. First up, Merseyside derby, Liverpool-Everton. I'm going with a 3-2 Liverpool and I think it's going to be very close. Robertson picked up an injury on Scotland duty, which means he's not available for Liverpool. An already weak defence, in my opinion, has just got even weaker because Tsimikas isn't on the same level. Everton have actually been quite good this season in terms of creating chances, they just haven't been as clinical as they should have been, but that is starting to be rectified in the recent weeks. Calvert-Lewin looks like he's got fitness, Beto looks decent, Harrison, who was injured when he came in, looks like he's hit the ground running as well. So I do think Everton are going to cause Liverpool problems, but Liverpool have Mohamed Salah and overall the stronger squad, and they're at home, so I do think they'll edge it. But I don't think it's going to be as comfortable as many people think it's going to be. I expect a tough game here. Bournemouth against Wolves. Now on the thumbnail you might have noticed I put a little question: are Bournemouth going to get their first win of the season? I believe they will. I'm going 3-1 to the Cherries. Again, I think they've had a really tough start to the season, and although they were dreadful in their last game against Everton, I do believe that they have the quality to go on and win this game. Some of the players that were injured are coming back. Alex Scott's in training, which is really good because he was someone that they signed up. He has huge promise. Rejected Wolves to go to Bournemouth. Probably won't play a part in the game because I don't think he's fit enough yet. Metham and Kelly are both back as well, two massive centre-backs for him. And although Wolves have been a lot better than I thought they were going to be this season, I just don't think they're going to win here. Bournemouth have to. If they don't win here, then they might not win a game all season. Like, genuinely, this is a must win for them. And if they don't win, they might actually be relegated, which is just awful because they spent quite a lot of money in the summer, and Iraola so far has failed to deliver. I'm going to call this a Gary O'Neill derby. It's Bournemouth, the club that he kept up last season, saved I would say last season, and he treated him really badly, and he's now gone to Wolves and he's doing a good job. So for him, obviously, to get one up on Bournemouth would be nice for himself. I don't want that to happen because I don't like Wolves. The form Neto's in, and Hwang Hee-chan is all scoring a lot of goals. Wolves could take this, but I think Bournemouth have to win this, and I do back them to do it. Brentford against Burnley, both sides have been massively underwhelming this season. I've gone with a 1-1 draw. I think either side could take it. I think Burnley will probably have a bit more of the ball, and Brentford will like to hit Burnley on the counter-attack. Neither side has been great this season. Burnley have looked a bit better away from home than they have at home, but that could just be because they've played really tough games at home and their away fixtures have been a bit kinder to them, and they've got another kind one here. Brentford are yet to win a home game this season in the Premier League. You can't really ask for an easier opponent, I can't lie. Manchester City against Brighton, I did put 8-8 in the thumbnail, that's just a bit of like clickbait. I think you all knew that anyway. I do think it'll be a very high scoring game, and I do think that both sides will get a few goals. I'm going 4-2 to Manchester City because they will score a lot of goals. Brighton are very open at the back. They're very expansive though, and that could cause Manchester City some issues, especially if they're committed players forward and they lose the ball. But Rodri is now back from his suspension. He should be in the lineup. I think he has to be in the lineup if Man City want to win. Manchester City were awful against Arsenal just before the international break. Dreadful, probably one of the worst Manchester City performances I've ever seen. Brighton also have had a blip as of late. They drew with Liverpool, a game I think they should have won and they were a bit unlucky in, but they got battered by Villa before that. So they have to, well, I say they have to win here. They're not going to win here, are they? It's a very tough game. You don't want to go to the Etihad when you're on a bad run of form because it's just not going to really go well for you. Brighton also have scored the most goals in the league so far this season, which is why I'm thinking they're going to get 2 against a very good Man City defence. But I do think it could be a very close game. I just think Manchester City have a bit more quality and they're the home side, and definitely defensively they're a lot better. Newcastle United against Crystal Palace. Ooh, now Palace actually have a really good defence. They've only conceded 7 goals this season and they've kept 4 clean sheets so far. But I think Newcastle do have the quality to beat Palace, and with them being the home team, I'm going to back them to do so. I'm going 2-0. I'm a bit conflicted because I kind of want to say 1-0, but I also think that they could definitely win 2-0. With the players returning for Newcastle, I'm going to say 2-0. Gordon's going to be back, Joel Linton could be back, Wilson's back, although Isak might not be fit, unfortunately. Obviously Tonali as well, that whole situation with his gambling. Eddie Howe has said that he's available for selection, but I don't know what his mental state's going to be like. Maybe he's not in the right state of mind to play, who knows. Willock's getting close to coming back. We could see Sven Botman back. A lot of the players that Newcastle had injured are on the way back. As for Crystal Palace, Eze and Elise are both out injured. That eliminates a lot of the attacking threat that they would have. So yeah, I don't think they're going to have any threat going forward really. Maybe you'll see a header that Pope has to tip over the bar or something, but I don't expect anything special from Crystal Palace going forward. Nottingham Forest against Luton Town. I'm going with a 3-1 Nottingham Forest win. I know they've got a 1-year injured, but I still think that they have the ability to score a few goals. Odds on a Murillo hat-trick. Hey, we all saw how well he played against Crystal Palace. He was dribbling like R9. He played a pass like he was Kevin De Bruyne as well. Like he's a centre-back and he's doing that stuff. And he was also solid defensively. Like, you can't ask for a much better player than that. But no, I don't think he'll actually get a hat-trick. If he does, that'd be crazy. But I do think he'll get a goal. And I think Luton will score for set piece because they're very strong in that regard. But I think Nottingham Forest have the quality. Players like Hudson-Odoi and Elanga will be very, very dangerous on the wings. Chris Wood also does know how to put the ball in the net, so he could score a goal. Gibbs White as well, what a player he is, man. Chelsea, Arsenal, London derby, what a game this could be, man. Chelsea have finally started to find a bit of form. I said as soon as Cole Palmer's integrated, they'll be absolutely fine. And he has been so good. I can't believe they got for 45 mil, man. What were Manchester City thinking letting them go for that? He's 21 years old and he's just looked insane, man. Kai Havertz returning to Stamford Bridge. Will he score? Probably not, will he? He's not very good. Arsenal are just one of 2 unbeaten teams in the Premier League this season. Chelsea would absolutely love to end that. Can they do so? I think they can, but I don't think they will. I'm going with a 2-1 Arsenal. Both sides still do have a lot of injuries. Like Chelsea, Reece James might be back now, but they've still got a lot of injuries to players like Nkunku and Chukwuemeka, Ben Chilwell. Like, they've got a lot of players out. Although Mudryk scored an absolute screamer for Ukraine. Like, what, fam? Rashford scored a decent goal, and then Mudryk's like, I'm gonna up that, man. He scored the same goal as Rashford, but it was 10 times better. Yeah, he obviously was going to go to Arsenal in January, but Arsenal didn't want to pay the fee, so he went to Chelsea. He could score. This could get really tasty. But I do think Arsenal win just because I think they've got the better squad. I think Arsenal are just a bit more reliable. They've got a bit more chemistry. Obviously, their players have been playing together a lot longer. They've got Declan Rice, man. He's the best midfielder in the world. I mean, I did mention it. I had the Game Week 8 review ready to go, but then for some reason the video just, like, there was just issues with it, so I couldn't upload it. But I was singing his praises so much because he was phenomenal against Manchester City, and he's been phenomenal in every single game he's played. There's a reason why no one's talking about his price tag anymore, and that's just because he's performing to the level you'd expect from a player of his price. And actually, to be fair, he's performing above that because Enzo's not been anywhere near as good as Declan Rice. I don't care. And it was good to see him play in a more advanced role as well. He's playing as more of an 8 rather than a 6 because he was allowed to go forward a lot, and he was man of the match in my opinion, and he has been in most of Arsenal's games so far. I think that midfield battle could be really key. Partey and Rice, I think, should be able to win over Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, and Gallagher will probably be in there as well. Just hoping Havertz don't play, because if he does, Chelsea, he'll probably be an agent for Chelsea and let him win. Saka might not be fit either. It's a bit touch and go with him, and Saliba as well. So that's a big boost for Chelsea, because one of the best right wingers in the world, arguably the best centre back in the world, if neither of them are playing, and allow them to go and win the game, I just don't think it will happen. This should be a really tasty game. I'm hoping it's not a boring game like the Arsenal Man City game was, where I did predict there was going to be less than 15 shots, and there were 16, but I was pretty close. Chelsea's record at Stamford Bridge has not been very good this season so far. They need to try and rectify it, but they've not got a very easy game. And they've got Brentford after this, but after that, they've got a real tough run, and they could genuinely be slipping towards the bottom end of the Premier League after that run. Sheffield United against Manchester United. Ooh, a bit controversial, this one. I'm not going to say the scoreline right now. I'm going to give a bit of a rundown of the teams. So Sheffield United have a few injuries. Obviously, we know Basham, his injury was horrific. Wish him the best in his recovery, and hopefully we'll see him back by the end of the season. We've got a lot of other injuries as well, but Ben Osborne could be back. It doesn't look like Baldock will be back, but Bogle I think is better than him anyway. Manchester United have a couple of defenders returning as well. Reguilon, Varane, both should be back. Amrabat should be fit as well. He didn't play for Morocco in the international break, but apparently he's fine. They also have Martinez and Wan-Bissaka out injured though, and Luke Shaw as well, so they've still got a few defensive concerns as well. They got a very good win over Brentford. A bit lucky, but McTominay clutched it. Like, what a guy, man. I mean, he's been terrible for years for Man United, but what a performance that was. Like, he came off the bench, scored 2 goals, won the game. It was amazing. I don't think they're going to win here. I think Sheffield United pick up another point. Not a win, but I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Yeah. I'm either going to look like an absolute genius or like the stupidest guy on the earth. We will see on Saturday at 8 PM. The only game on Super Sunday, we've got Aston Villa against West Ham United. A bit of a claret and blue derby. Aston Villa actually haven't beaten West Ham in the Premier League since like 2015, which is crazy. I suppose you can guess from that West Ham do have a decent record at Villa Park. But with how good Villa have been at Villa Park over this last year or so, maybe a bit under that, they've won like 10 on the bounce there now or something ridiculous like that. I think Villa will take it. I'm going 2-1. Both sides picked up draws before the international break. Both sides have had good starts this season. I just think, again, at Villa Park, they're a different beast, Aston Villa there, man. They're just too good. And although, like I said, West Ham have that good record there, I'm not sure it'll be enough. To be fair, I could see this being a 2-2 draw, and I was very tempted to go with that as my prediction. And the final game, another London derby, Tottenham against Fulham. It's technically North against West again, but nowhere near as intense here. And these two clubs have already played each other early in the season in the Carabao Cup, where Fulham won, but it was against Tottenham's second team. Manor Solomon welcoming his former club to his new home. I think Tottenham Hotspur are going to win this 4-0. To be fair, I am probably underestimating Fulham a little bit here, because I think Leno has been one of the best goalkeepers in the league this season. You could argue he's been the best. Palhinha is, what he does is one of the best in the world. He is so good at that defensive midfielder role, like just recycling possession. We saw him against Arsenal do really well. So I might be underestimating him a little bit here. But James Maddison plays for Tottenham Hotspur, and he will guide them to victory. I'm telling you, you're going to see a 10 out of 10 performance from him. And hopefully Son gets a couple of goals as well, both of them FPL team. Come on, lads. Do me a solid, please. I'm so far behind already. Help me out. On a real though, Tottenham look really good. Defensively, Van de Ven has been, in my opinion, the best left centre-back in the Premier League this season. Romero's not been bad either. Doggy has probably been the best left-back in the Premier League. Vicario, you could also argue, has been the best goalkeeper in the league so far. Basuma will be suspended. Hojbjerg can just fill in. And he's not a bad guy to have as a backup, is he? Like, man, he'd start for a lot of teams. Brendan Johnson also returning. Realistically, this should be a comfortable Tottenham win. Fulham could make it really tough. They did that to Arsenal, but that was because Kai Havertz plays for Arsenal. I think if Tottenham are serious about the title, and I think that they can genuinely win it, they need to be winning this game. Even if they don't win here, I do still firmly believe they're in the title race, because Arsenal didn't win here, and everyone still knows they're in there. So, you can't discount Tottenham just because they don't win it. Those are my predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you soon for another video.